I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I've fallen in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I've fallen in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so set your stride with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the facts of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's on mine, on mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. When a drifter says some shit, just block that internet freak. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life.
Hello, everybody. So today's gonna be a little weird because I accidentally did something I didn't realize I was doing. Oh man, I have so much to talk about, I suppose, already. Today's been a lot. I'm gonna try to put my picture of the set over here because I accidentally enabled dual stream. I don't remember clicking it. It was enabled when I started the stream. I think YouTube turned it on. I don't know why, but there is now a vertical video version of this, and I have no idea why. Oh well, we'll see. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, welcome back to the Dragons Arcade. We are doing Wacky Durg Jump Scare. I know. We're doing Dragonhold again. Mostly because as much as oh god, I don't know what to say about this. I am on like a few minds here of a part of me wants to give up this game, but another part is like, but people like enjoyed it. There were people who commented on the other two streams and were like, oh cool. Like one of them was even like, I want to see more gameplay, more gameplay, and I'm like, well, I mean, if the audience demands, and also, it is a dragon game, and a part of me just wants to do it. It's weird. In the moment, I get bored of it, but like when I think back, I'm like, man, I really want to fly around some more on my dragon. Really want to fly around some more in the dragon. Actually, one really cool thing, I actually recently just discovered this, that this entire area is actually an explorable map. Our base of operations is a fully I wonder, could Durg be considered inside call for dragons? That'd be a slur spoken by others. No, I don't think Durg is like that. But look at this. We have a fully explorable island with like extra dungeons and stuff like that. I didn't even realize this, but there's like an entire area around here. I did some flying earlier in this area. There are these weird gemstone towers. I found this one place that was surrounded by these like merfolk who were doing stuff. And I went into a dungeon. I ended up quitting out of the dungeon because I couldn't find my way out of the damn thing. I just kept going in circles. And I couldn't find the damn exit. But it was cool. It was really cool. And the more I play it, the more I'm like, it has problems. I think the combat gets really repetitive. Even as it goes on, it gets like very, very just keep clicking range attack. They've said the warrior is better, but I'm still trying to build up enough resources to go do that. I haven't really had a lot of time to play it. And like I said, I got dropped into that one merfolk dungeon and just like could not find my way outside to quit out without getting any bonuses. That'd be a very fun addition to Draconic lore. My Durg, what's up? My Durg, what's up? Oh, gods. Oh. Bye, bye, Bahamut. I mean, come on. Yes, we worship Bahamut in this house, not Tiamat, the usurper. I don't know that much D&D lore. I mostly know Bahamut is like the metallic dragon god. And there's like a gems dragon god who may also just be the only ruby dragon. I don't know a lot of D&D lore. I know some of the basics now because I've watched a lot of like D&D videos, I guess, or I've watched some D&D stuff, and I played like Baldur's Gate. But I don't really know like a lot of deep lore for that. What is this one? Meteor. No, it's just a grappling hook, I think. But yeah. Merge extra weapons with your current one to increase its power. Do I have extra weapons? Let's see. Weaponry. I don't have any extra weapons at the moment. That could be cool, though. I probably should try and get an extra staff so I can merge it all. And I don't really have any charms. I guess I could take a blast bag with me. I haven't really been using those. I'll go ahead and increase my money a bit so I have some stuff to use. And yeah, let's go ahead and start. But you know, so I have enjoyed this game a decent amount, I suppose. The sunken city in Mara took root a millennia ago when disciples of the ancient sorcery Los Mar carved sanctuaries into the red stone, named the newborn city in his honor. Okay, secluded Academy and Reliquary, preserving Januvian laws, history, and rights from the politics. Lots of fantasy names I don't know. Here the Heshandine were tempered, warriors schooled in as much in language as maps in jurisprudence, really, as steel sword to keep honor and learning in equal measure. Okay, so like scholar warriors. You know, I've always been a fan of the scholar warrior archetype, and in case it's not obvious, I am very much a nerd. Very much a nerd, as one might say. 1 second. I want to make sure that was okay. Light wells and hidden aqueducts feed the city, while retracting bridges and false canyons, turning aside the curious. Many who searched it found only wind and heat. Sorry if you hear the dogs in the background. Somebody's outside and they're kind of going nuts at the moment. I just let them out. They're fine. Those who judge worthy are led by secret paths to the gates, where oath is the same as it was in Janu's dawn. Knowledge before power, honor before victory. A sunken city fought against Aradai and failed. Its streets and canyons stand overrun by foul creatures and new dawn remnants. Okay, so the evil goddess who destroyed the Dragon Riders also destroyed this place. And it was like this Atlantis-style, lost, sunken civilization of knowledge and learning and honor. Very cool, very cool. I like that. Very cool trope. You know, the original Atlantis story is like always very funny to me. Right. Alright, so I guess we open this gate to continue. Mostly because it's basically just like a fanfic by Plato that's supposed to be an allegory, but it became like pseudo-mythology. I've always found that really weird. Oh, we can extract whenever we want through the song gate. Okay, that's the song gate for extracting. Okay. I'm an idiot. Hello, Code and Assembly. We're back with this. Because I can't help myself. It's a dragon game, and someone in one of the comments was like, hey, win more footage. And I'm like, God damn it. It's been requested now. Oh, look, we have a knockoff beholder. Look, everybody, it's a Void Watcher. This is totally not a beholder, everyone. We swear. Don't worry, it's totally legally distinct from a beholder. Oh wow, it's tanky too. You know, I never really, I understand that D&D people think the holders are like really terrifying and dangerous, but honestly, I just never got that impression of them. I mean, granted, I kind of got it in Baldur's Gate a bit, but that was when our characters were like really low level. We just being Durg, being draconic to my Niga. Something about Atlantis. Yeah, well, I was mostly talking about how it's weird that Atlantis is like pseudo-mythology, when it's really just like an allegorical story that Plato wrote up to explain why, you know, Greece is so amazing. He basically was like, yes, the Athenians shunned excess, unlike the Atlanteans, the spoiled, rotten Atlanteans. That's why we were kick-ass. And it was literally just like an allegory on the nature of the corrupting influence of greed, right? Where the whole gimmick was, you know, Poseidon, the whole thing with like Athena and Atlantis and Athens, right, happened. So Poseidon was like, well, I'm going to claim this area instead, since I can't have Athens because it's so great. And he was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to have some demigod kids. And as they had kids, the godly blood diluted, and they suddenly realized they were filthy rich and had all the power and money in the world. And they were like, cool, so we're gonna go our hubris. And then Zeus struck them down for hubris. Well, they started getting rowdy and declaring themselves gods, if I remember correctly. And then Zeus was like, Poseidon, get your grandkids in check. And so he just sunk the place. Or that was sometime after, I think, the original meeting got lost in time and popularity, none of the correct course. Yeah, it is kind of funny though, I think. Like, it would be like if one of us, right, wrote about a hidden secret world, you know? Like, actually, no, here's a great example. It would be like if we wrote if somebody like 1,000 years from now finds Harry Potter, right? Like a Harry Potter book, completely removed from its origin, from its context, current cultural context. And decides, yes, this is a historical record. Oh, wow, that is a dangerous little monster. Could a Greek Atlantis be considered a Greek equivalent to the Tower of Babel story? I don't think so. I think if we have a parallel, it's probably Pandora, right? Because, okay, so hear me out on this, hear me out. So, I get that Atlantis is kind of like, because Tower of Babel is a part of Christian theology, at least. Like, it's you know, it's a biblical kind of timeline event, if you're trying to pull all the Bible stuff in a timeline. And I think Pandora is definitely the comparison. I know people compare her to Eve, and I think there's definitely a parallel there as well, like the Garden of Eden parallel for Pandora. I get that, but I do genuinely believe that Pandora also would represent the Tower of Babel, because it's tied into the Prometheus myth too, which is kind of like, for me, it's a bit more of the Garden of Eden thing, even if the context is a little bit different. Because the whole gimmick with Pandora, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but Pandora was technically Prometheus' sister-in-law. She was basically, okay, so you know the story, right? Prometheus stole fire from the gods because Zeus was a dick and took, I'm not getting into the whys of how this happened. Zeus got annoyed that he wasn't getting enough offerings or got tricked out of the best offerings, and he stole fire from humanity. Prometheus stole it back and gave it back to us. And, you know, he got chained to a rock, and a eagle's gonna rip out his liver every day and eat it. That's like the one everyone knows. But what people don't realize is the Pandora myth follows exactly but after this, like immediately after, essentially. Even a little bit before. Basically, Prometheus was the titan of foresight. He was the guy who planned for the future and was even a prophet to an extent. And, you know, he had a limited amount of precognition. So he told his brother Epimetheus, who is his opposite, the titan of hindsight, which, you know, knowing history is always good. I'd say Anthology to Eve is pretty loose like this. I'm sure basic premise is similar, different context. Weirdly enough, the parallels to the Garden of Eden are actually pretty strong. I'm not going to deny those. So in a lot of myths, after Prometheus is punished, Zeus is still pissed because he's punished Prometheus, right? But he's still angry at humanity. Why do I just wrote twice premise contradictory? With a different premise. Basically, Epimetheus was told by Prometheus, do not accept any gifts from Zeus before he went off and did the whole fire theft thing. You know, he didn't want his brother getting caught up in a bit of pay revenge. They were Titans, even if they had sided with the gods in the war. Yeah, Zeus, he had reason to worry about it. And so Zeus got together and got all the gods to help him forge the first women. And yeah, this is some Athens level, oh boy. So I'm not gonna get into ways they made her, because like Hermes started to lie. Aphrodite gave her like feminine charms to charm men. It's very sexist. I'm not getting into that whole bit. It's like a whole thing. If you want to read it, you can go find versions of it online. But the version thing everyone agrees on, right, is that Pandora wasn't necessarily, at least in most versions, it differs from version to version. Sometimes she's a willing participant. Sometimes she's essentially designed to be endlessly curious and a bit cunning but stupid, which contradictory, I know, but it's myth. Essentially, though, she was gifted as a wife to Epimetheus. In one version, the moment he accepts, she empties out Pandora's jar, right? It's not a box, but it's a jar. But same thing, right? The container that holds all the world's evils. But in another version, it was a gift, the wedding present for the gods. They, you know, Zeus handed it as like, oh yes, this is the gift. We have brought you a wife, Epimetheus, to make up for the whole Prometheus thing. Like, I had to punish him, but I understand that you weren't involved, and you know what? Well, let bygones be bygones. Here's a wife, a perfect consort. Isn't she beautiful? And she's human too. I know you and Prometheus were both cool with humans, so like, you know, raise her to godhood or whatever. And so she was given this Pythos and either instructed to open it the moment that Epimetheus accepted, or in the more interesting version, in my opinion, she was told it was a gift, but that she was never to open it. And I like this version more because it plays into the whole the dangerous curiosity angle to an extent, which ties into the Tower of Babel. You know, because humans were trying to like push past their limits essentially, which is a bit, it's not perfect parallel. Honestly, there are a lot of differences between the stories, but essentially after Pandora and Epimetheus were wed, Pandora was endlessly curious, right? Endlessly curious about what was in the Pythos, the vase. And one night she simply could not resist. In some versions, because the gods literally designed her to be endlessly curious and yet punish her for it. And so Pandora opened it, and we all know what happens next. All the evils are unleashed upon the world. Because you have to understand, before this, humans were functionally like immortal. They lived these, at least in Greek myth, right? They lived these like perfect lives of wonder and the gods' kind aegis. Yeah, some people would very much disagree, but you know, that myth to myth, there's not really a lot of consistency. And Pandora unleashed that. She unleashed sickness and disease and war. All the horrible things, right, that would divide and ruin mankind were unleashed upon them. And it was all her fault, even though the gods in many versions designed her to do this. Because, you know, why not? Why not just say it's all her fault? Oh dear. They made her like this. They made her want to open the jar and then punished her for it. Which is so rude. And of course, you know, the famous part, right? The last thing, the only thing that didn't leave, all the evils that were unleashed upon the war. War, suffering, pain, illness. But we had one thing at the end. We had hope. I think it can be executed well, but it is a bit cheesy. It can be executed well, though. I distinctly remember one time in English class, I was bored because I didn't really like the story we were focusing on in English at the moment. It was in high school, or it was either in high school or middle school. It might have been in middle school. And I was flipping through the textbook, and I found the story of Pandora, or one version of it, right? Not with the Prometheus connections mostly removed from it, but I found that connection. The weaker the kitchen analogy seems from what I'm saying. Yeah. The first one with Prometheus getting struck down for daring to object is a lot closer. The thing is, the gods are constantly kicking humanity down for trying to go better and stronger than them. That's like a regular thing they do. It's not like a thing that happens that it's not that uncommon. I also said it's the closest parallel. There isn't really a huge like dividing moment. Although it is implied that the divisions that, like, restrict mankind did come from the jar. Like, in the same way that the Christian God, you know, Yahweh, divided humanity by, you know, breaking the Tower of Babel and then destroying our ability to communicate by scattering language into 1,000 different fragmentary versions. The gods divided humanity by unleashing these evils and forever plaguing them so they would never work together again. Which does suck. Mostly because, like, we were just, like, punished because Prometheus helped us out. And then Epimetheus just got, like, dunked on because now he was partially blamed for this whole thing. Actually, it doesn't really go into what happened to him, honestly. Which is kind of weird when you think about the whole premise was him accepting a wedding gift. And Pandora is, of course, always blamed. Because of course she is. She opened the box. How could you be so foolish as to open a gift from the gods that they told her not to open? She should have listened, but she should have listened and obeyed and not risen. Oh god, I hate that parallel. Some of the myths have really messed up morals. Then again, modern mythology can too. Ah, I gotta love that. So we can't get in there. At least not yet. Oh man. But no, I think it has some parallels. It's just weaker. The more you try and directly line up myths from different cultures, the more they're kind of going to be a bit flaky. Just in general, right? You can get some cool parallels going on, but it takes a bit. Throwing communication, more about throwing a monkey's wrench into wanting to utilize the god to love, simply put. Yeah. Prometheus is our boy. Honestly, I really, it really is frustrating because I kind of both like and hate the Percy Jackson version of Prometheus from, like, the Percy Jackson books. 'Cause I get the Percy Jackson books have, like, a lot of, like, weird moments, but I think they're pretty good. I think they're really solid books as a whole. I really enjoyed them, and I've reread them in recent years and been like, oh man, these are actually pretty fun. These are really fun. I like them. I particularly like the twist to the first prophecy. I'm not a huge fan of the sequel series. I do like the Kane Chronicles, though. But regardless of, like, the inner mythology nerd in me kind of wanting to critique them or nitpick them, I think the Percy Jackson books did a pretty good, cool thing with Prometheus. But I also don't like that he was, like, wanting to destroy humanity. I was really like, wouldn't it be cool if he just, like, wants to get rid of the gods and... Because, like, as I got to know mythology better, I started thinking back to that version. Because in that version of him, he's, like, against the gods as Kronos is rising again. And it makes sense, right? Zeus imprisoned him. But I was really surprised when he had, like, a hatred for humanity or didn't seem to really care much for humanity. Because Prometheus loving humanity was kind of, like, one of his main traits, right? He was the god of foresight. He saw potential in mankind, right? He saw something in us that made him willing to risk Zeus's wrath. Hold on. I meant utilize, not utilize, especially transactionalize and other synonyms. Utilitize? A darkling. Just basically a demon. Just an overgrown demon. Aha! I honestly, I've always, like, wondered, like, I feel like it would have worked way better if Kronos had done something like, because when, you know, Percy's like, ah, yes, why are you fighting against us, Prometheus? Aren't you, like, a good guy? He's like, I was betrayed by Zeus. It's like, yeah, but you cared about humanity. It's like, yes, of course I do. And when I rule alongside my brother, right? Why am I correct myself? I wrote good my first time. God, Dirk software is not Dirking Knight. I feel like it would have been way better characterization for him if he was like, yes, of course I love humanity. And I believe that Zeus has squandered your potential. And under my rule, Kronos has promised me that when we win this war, not only will I be forever free of my curse, right? But I shall also rule humanity as its god. I shall be in charge of humanity and progressing them beyond what they have become today. Helping them break free of their restrictions in the Titan's new world. That would have been a way better pitch for the Prometheus I've seen in myth, right? Because, like, have beef with the gods. 100%. 100% have beef with the gods. But humanity cared a lot about Prometheus. He was our boy. You know, like even in the Greek myths, they're right. We're like, oh man, it really sucks that Zeus punished him like that. Like even the myths with Prometheus do not show him as a bad guy. They show him as the good guy, and Zeus being a whiny little bitch. I feel like if Prometheus ever did get free and decided to join a godly rebellion, that would probably be the thing he would ask for, right? Is can I finally look after humanity in the way that Zeus never let me, or something? Even just like being allowed to watch them grow and progress, right? Free of limitations, I feel like would fit way better with his character as he's portrayed in the myths. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. Something about that like really speaks to me as like a cool idea for, you know, gods are real myth, urban fantasy. Prometheus is now siding with the enemy kind of thing. Can I get a good refresher on what happened to Prometheus in God of War? Oh man, God, what happened? I forget what happened to him in God of War. Oh gosh, the knockoff Beholder again. Got him. I forget what happened to him in God of War. Was it in the mainline games? I feel like it was in the mainline game. I feel like I know. I feel like he was in one of the main three. Because I feel like I saw it, and I haven't played a ton of the side games. Oh yes, we finally have our dragon form, so we can go up here and go into some of the side dungeons and start gaining some resources. God damn. I really, really wish that button would let me just like plummet straight down. Okay. I'm actually not sure what happened to him in God of War, though. Okay, let's just wreck a bunch of them. Okay, there we go. Whoop. Aha! Boom, 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 boom. Yes! Meteor! Oh, man. Actually, oh, that reminds me. Talking about Meteor actually reminded me of something. I was watching some Deviala Dirtly stuff in the background the other day while working on some projects. Partially my Foundry setup for the sessions that I'm doing, and also a bit of my video when I was like trying to get this effect to look right. I had it playing in the background. Not when I was doing timing stuff, right, or listening to audio. Wait, I think I got it. If not, I'm not confused. He was trapped by Zeus, and Kratos put him out of his misery, getting Rage of the Titans. Yeah, like again, Prometheus being angry at the gods makes sense. I think any version of Prometheus is probably going to be pissed at Zeus if he got out, right? That's just reasonable. That's just, I mean, like, the man literally sentenced him to be tortured for the rest of his life. Not even just imprisoned, tortured, right? Zeus is a dick sometimes. Well, Zeus is a dick a lot of the time. Honestly, not my favorite deity. Oh man, what would be my favorite deity? Oh god, who would be my favorite member of the Greek pantheon? It's Hestia. It's 100% Hestia. She just doesn't bother anyone. She's just chill and nice, kind. Like she even was like, yeah, you know what, Dionysus, you can just take my seat of the pantheon. I'm cool. I'm cool. It's fine. I'm just gonna take it to the flame. She's the goddess of like family and home and the heart. I have yet to see any piece of media make Hestia evil. Like, how do you make Hestia evil, honestly? He was not as much enraged as he was so dumb with his bullshit. Well, yeah, that also tracks. I did really like the way he was portrayed in Hades 2, where he manages to tame the eagle. That was just cool. I thought that was actually a really cool thing with Prometheus, because it shows him, right, as an actual thinker, right, as a planner. He didn't beat the eagle and bust free. He befriended the eagle in their torment using his wits and cunning and charm, right, and now he is side by side with his once foe and they are wreaking havoc on the ones who trapped them in this endless cycle. Right? That's cool. That's a really cool interpretation of him breaking free. I think that was like really well done. Prometheus is one of those interesting characters for me. You know, partially because he's so iconic, right? He's like, I mean, it's Prometheus. Even people who don't know about mythology know about Prometheus. He's just an iconic part of Greek mythology that even people who don't know Greek mythology know. Alright, let's get rid of some of these. I don't really need any lures. Oop. Okay. There we go. Alright. Now, what else are we looking for in here? Whoa. Where is those blasts coming from? Oh, there it is. Oh, cool! Giant octopus ships. Nice. See, this is the kind of comet ship I was talking about earlier. This is what we need more of. Give me more evil of crafting Cthulhu ships to fight. I say yes, sir. Aha! Alright, we found ancient civilization. We got shit to do. Oh yeah, we're gonna fry this thing from above. I'm sorry, sir. Did you think you were going to kill me? No, no, no. You misunderstand. I have a dragon. Sorry, but no. Necro Lord, get flame broiled. Ha 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 ha! Yes! Quadruple shot! Alright. There we go. Look at me. I feel like there's a whole normie layer to mythology that commoners know, and we're learning this about this in elementary school. You would think that, but I've talked to a lot of people who don't know anything about mythology. I've talked to people who know the name Prometheus, but have no idea what his deal was. And that's like Olympics, right? Like you hear about this shit when people talk about the Olympics. There's so much weirdness in mythology. Also, when people talk about mythology, what people generally know is they generally know 3 mythologies. They're like the big 3 mythologies. We want to talk about mythologies. There's the Norse mythology, there is Greek mythology, and there's Egyptian mythology. And then we have our tertiary mythologies. And the reason I'm calling them, well, they're more like a secondary mythologies. The secondary are the mythologies you might have heard a piece of. Like, you know a major figure or a major bit from them, right? But most people don't really know the details of the mythology, and they know about that one thing. And those would be like Mesoamerican mythology, Japanese mythology, and depending on who you ask, I'm a little split on this one, because I've heard some people say the third secondary, like I've talked about this before with some other people, and I think the third secondary should either be Chinese or African mythology. I believe it was West African is where Anansi is from, because Anansi is actually pretty famous in a lot of circles, at least among the right groups, right? Like there are people who have heard the story of the spider god Anansi, even if they don't know a lot about the other beliefs of that region. Funny to see essentially hit marker in this kind of game. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was just a teleporter room. Not sure what that purpose was. Open the gate for me. No, you refuse? How dare you, good sir? How dare you? I'm very much into Egyptian stuff these days, which is funny because I was the one getting fed up with all the Egyptian mythology, Egyptian levels, and Egyptian all over pop culture. Honestly, of the big 3, I'd say Egyptian mythology is probably the one that's like the least, at least the least popularized in the current modern day. it had its thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's had its thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't really been about the Egyptian mythology in a long time. Like, Zexal was full-on alien invasion. The last Yu-Gi-Oh that really went into Egyptian mythology, like, at all, I'd say that was probably GX. And even GX only half did it, right? They didn't really, it wasn't a major focus. Because, like, 5D's moved into the Nazca lines, which is, I actually don't know where the, you know, I actually don't know where the Nazca lines are. I think they're probably in South America or Central America, I believe. But I don't know exactly where they are located. However, like, that was, like, the big thing with 5Ds, right? It was the Nazca lines. That was where, like, the evil Earthbound immortals have been sealed away by the ancient civilization or whatever. By the ancient dragons. Oof. Also, JoJo, Super Mario, Dread Templar, Asterix, Obelix, Kaito, Kaiko I, Coco Zoots. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about, like, really big pop. All right, when I say big three, remember, I'm not talking about the kind of mythologies we know, or that, like, even nerds know, really. I'm talking about the kind of mythologies that even normies are aware of, and they know, like, several characters and stories from, right? I'm talking about the kind of mythologies you could walk up and say, hey, what do you know about Norse mythology? And they'd be like, well, I know about Odin and Thor and Loki. Maybe I know something about the ring cycle because it had a lot of operas, you know? I might know some things I don't even know are technically Norse mythology. Oh yeah, I didn't realize that was Norse mythology, but I know that. Same with Greek/Roman, same with, and same with Egyptian mythology, right? Like, people know Ra, people know Horus. Even if they don't really know what those things are. They know Isis for bad reasons these days. But, like, they know these names, right? They know these names, and to a lesser extent, they are aware of these characters. Or these are, like, most generalized pop culture depictions. They know Osiris, the god of the underworld, king of the dead, you know, leader of the pharaoh's tomb. That's the thing. Egypt mythology references used to be all over this, Muggin and Egyptian as well, including the gruesome stuff about mummification and other stuff, some about the gods too. Right. It was the same thing with Greek mythology, and it was a bit of the same with Norse mythology, just because Vikings are, like, really popular in mundane fiction, I guess you could say. Like, doesn't have to have a lot of magic or whatever. But yeah, that is the thing, right? Is I feel like those deserve to be the big threes, not even because they're, like, the most important, honestly. Greek mythology is Egyptian, sure, but Norse mythology is pretty self-contained, really. However, I do think they are the mythologies that most people, on average, at least in the West, right, will know. If you're talking about the East, Japan is probably way more popular over there, as is probably some Chinese beliefs, although honestly, Chinese mythology could just be, like, from multiple. Are you talking about, like, Buddhist or Hinduism or Taoist philosophy? I mean, there's so much. I honestly, one of the things that always kind of cracked me up reading Journey to the West and, like, how different it felt was that, like, there are just Taoists and Buddhists, right? Like, Buddhists exist. Their whole story, right, is about Buddha needing Tripitaka to transport his holy scriptures to the West for him on this journey of enlightenment. And Sun Wukong is tries to help. But Sun Wukong essentially ran rampant through the Chinese mythology and was, like, with all these, like, Taoist, and there are all these, like, Taoist sages and gods and demons and dragon kings that I don't really think are in, like, Buddhist texts, really. Maybe they are. I have not read that much about Buddhist, like, I guess, cosmology. Would cosmology be a good word? I don't know what their, like, larger cosmological structure of, like, if they, you know, deity, if they have, like, any, believe in any deities, like, exist, even if they don't worship them. Unico once said, "Shit yourself, YouTube." Okay, I'm back. Hold on, I'll be back, YouTube. I won't let YouTube terrorize me like that. Some about gods. Yeah, it is interesting because, right, like some things are just like almost universal when it comes to their ubiquity across culture, at least in the West. Again, I have to keep clarifying that because it is kind of true. Like it's gonna be very different depending on where you go. Still unsure what that chamber is for. All right, what is our like whole point here? What is our job here? All right, our quest. What is our quest? This is a startup mission for our system, which works pretty well as a preview. Okay, so there's no main goal here. I guess I just keep exploring around. Honestly, I think I'll nope out then. Go try out one of those secondary missions. No, I'm not turning on my ad block. I refuse. Oh, speaking of that, have you heard about Bilibili? So, I'm not sure if you're aware what Bilibili even is, but YouTube has a competitor. So, Bilibili is kind of like Chinese YouTube. And originally they were kind of like just for the Chinese audience, the Chinese market. They operated behind the Great Firewall. They were essentially like the YouTube of China for what part, since YouTube isn't really fully, or I don't know what the exact details on that is, anymore. I'm not sure if they're allowed in China anymore. If they were at one point, I don't know the full details. I do know at one point they weren't. And Bilibili was kind of like the Chinese YouTube. And like YouTube, they also do a creator split. So you can make money. Most of the reason I know about them is because I've seen one or two people talk about videos that blew up over there. They also are known a bit for like TikTok, right, ripping off content from YouTuber videos. You just know, that might be my stream instabilities. Oh well. Oh yeah. Stream can be a little unstable. Oh my god, it's the exploding balls! Exploding balls! Okay, open up, open up. Whoa! New Dawn Riders. Alright, got it. We managed to get out. Just in time. Survival time, 30 minutes. We got no wood. Dear God, okay, where do I need to go to collect resources? I really need to figure out how to collect resources. Because that is like my main limiting factor. Alright, we're going to go do another mission here. And we're going to figure out where to go to actually get resources in this place. Simple orientation mission though. Okay, so let's go with Citadel of the Dread Meridian. Right, we'll go to this one again. And we don't unlock for a third ability. Okay. What in COD Zombies is that teleport effect? What's wrong with the teleport effect? I thought it was fine. What's the issue with the teleport effect? I couldn't tell the issue with it. I mean, it's like definitely like a stock effect, but I couldn't like tell you much more about that. Tell you much more than that. Anyway, what else? So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Bilibili. So no issue. It just smells like COD Zombies. Ah, I see. But yeah, Bilibili is basically like a Chinese version of YouTube, and they have recently announced they're going to do an international version. So they have like an English page, and from what I've been told, the base home screen without being logged in looks like old YouTube with like recommendations based on what people are actually looking for, and not popular late show stuff. And I was like, there's a really good stream where Linus and LTT, you know, we do like a little thing about it, and I'm like, that's kind of cool actually. I might start putting my videos over there too. It might be a good place to do a dual stream, honestly, just to like, I don't know, maybe. I'll have to see. I'm not sure. I don't think my next video will go up there. Yes, the occultist video is coming out. I need to start working on the thumbnail for it. But yes, it is in production. It is getting done. It took me a bit. I will say, one of the things I will say about this one is the company was a little weird. They were kind of, I'm not going to talk about like the details, but let's just say there wasn't much on them, and they didn't have a Wikipedia page. which is really weird in the modern day. It feels like any small company gets a Wikipedia page out of like nothing these days. You know, you can get one for just like existing, it feels like. I mean, I don't have one, but like Occultist was on like the Steam homepage for a bit. It was a release in a small amount of release times. It's had some like, you know, major outlets reviewing it. It's surprising it doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Also, this actually wasn't in my review because I didn't really see a point in mentioning it, but it was originally being produced, not published, right? Not developed, but actually published, yes. It was being published by the, not produced, published, by the people who did that terrible Gollum game. But then they went under because of that terrible Gollum game. Or like either they went under or they weren't, oh, I can do melee Kung Fu again. Nice. Aw. I don't know, Billy rules pretty strict. I don't know what their rules are. Again, I just heard about this recently. I think it was like yesterday. So I'm not sure like at all about it. I'm just like, if there's another platform, maybe. I do think they have like separate rules internationally though. I'm not sure what the details on that are specifically. I'd have to check. I do understand there are different rules because it is like a Chinese platform, right? And China's government will censor shit like crazy. I'm not even sure I want them to succeed necessarily. I just like would like for YouTube to have a competitor again. I think a lot of the shit YouTube's been doing has been kind of eh. I'm still not sure what the dislike button was gotten rid of. Well, not dislike button, but the dislike counter. I thought it was a decent metric for things. I don't know. Also, there apparently have been like a bunch of changes in how they're like counting views and shit. It's getting weird. I don't really care about that because, like I said, I don't, as I've mentioned in the past, right? I don't really do this for a living right now. But if I ever did, I'd probably care a lot more. I mostly get annoyed at YouTube for just like all the shorts. I'm sick to death of the way that the YouTube app will just open directly into the shorts feed. It will. The only way to do it is to turn off shorts entirely. And while I would like to watch shorts on occasion, if I have to turn them off entirely, I will. Nowadays, I mostly get shorts through a handful of creators like I actually like watch. And if I see one on like a computer recommended homepage. Social engineering, if you don't know how much people dislike it, you can't make a decision worth it or not. Yeah. I'm just not a huge fan of how they push towards just shorts. I like a lot of long-form content on YouTube. There are some things I freaking love on YouTube too. If you've never seen the a video called Overlord, it's a SCP movie. It's really good. The people who do it make some excellent stuff. And it's like really good, solid, long-form content with like some, like not like high production quality, right? But like that kind of like mid, we're creators and we have just enough viewers to like put a little bit of our own money behind this to get the effects looking nice and have like gear for our men. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. The whole channel, I forget the channel's name, and I really wish I could give you the name immediately. But look up Overlord SCP movie. You should get it. And that channel, highly recommend them. They do good stuff. They do good work. I think their current thing got canceled though. They haven't got enough like stuff, viewers in recent years to continue. Either that or one of the projects I was interested in got canceled. The specific details of my head were at the moment. But yeah, there's like a lot of cool stuff that I think is still really worth seeing on YouTube. And I'd say it's probably my primary entertainment platform. I think I watch more stuff on YouTube than I watch from almost anywhere else, other than my Plex server. But that's kind of cheating, right? Because my Plex server has stuff from YouTube and stuff from movies and TV. Like, a huge part of that is like my favorite YouTube stuff that I've downloaded, and music videos and music and just like all the best stuff I've ripped and downloaded. My Plex server is less of like my favorite anything and more like it's where I put all my favorite shit from other things. Oh my. Big boys. Money shmoney. Once I be doing here, I'm trying to, not even trying to monetize anything with a shit show and recording like it's 2000, having a mirror account on CamTube. Oh man. Remember when Dailymotion was a thing? That's a name that'll make everyone feel old. Oh god. I hated Dailymotion too. Like every time I found a video and couldn't find it on YouTube, I'd be like, alright, guess we're going to Dailymotion. And they had like way laxer copyright detection. So you could find like, I remember back when you could find entire movies on YouTube, but then YouTube started to get like, you know, they started to get stricter with IDing. So basically, Dailymotion for a while was the place where you could find a lot of that stuff. You couldn't find them in one piece. Because I forget why. I think it had something to do with like the length of the content made it more likely to get detected or something. But essentially, like, they would split the movie up into like 20 parts, and you'd have to like hunt them down in order to watch it. It was hilarious. CamTube is replicating this era of YouTube. They even got star system. It's legally distinct old YouTube. I had to migrate somewhere, go there. I'm not planning on migrating. I still think YouTube is a pretty good place all around. I just really hope they get over this phase with shorts. That's the thing. A lot of YouTube's worst things are mostly phases. Every time they reorient the user experience for what they think is what they want to focus on, and then the other thing ends up becoming a secondary thing. Like, for a while, they were all about watch time, right? That was like the big thing, was the more watch time your videos have, the more your channel will get seen. It's like a lot of compilation videos started being a thing. If you've not noticed, like a lot of YouTubers out there have compilation videos where they'll like put together all their short ones. I actually like it. I think it was like something that pushed things to be a bit good in a lot of ways. But the watch time era did strangle independent animation really heavily. And there were a lot of negatives that came with it, right? This encouragement towards these long, rambling video essays or let's plays over shorter, snappier stuff. Yes, but back in Gloomwood, we've been arguing about what if shit hits the fan, so good to keep in mind. So you can always make a mirror channel. Yeah, that is also something good to keep in mind, and it might be good to post some stuff over there. But I'd like to get this channel, like, fully back on track first. You know, redo the banner, finish redoing that banner design, get the NeoCities page up and running, and all that other shit that I need to do this year. Finish the 3D model. I have so many other things I want to get done in the next, like, few months. And trying to also do it all while monitoring another site just seems like a waste of time. Because it's going to be one more direction I'm going to split in. I need to keep my attention focused a bit more than I have in the past. And I'm trying to check things off without adding more stuff right now is the thing. Like, I've been paying attention to the Billy thing, but I don't plan to do it anytime soon. I want to try and get my objectives that I have for my current channel done, and not add more of them. Because I think that's been a problem for me in a while, where I keep adding stuff to my to-do list, and it prevents me from getting shit done. So, for now, my focus is on just going and getting my current to-do list checked off. One of those things is finally finishing up the campaign, you know, getting all that good to go, so I can so Code and Assembly and one of my other players can start GMing, and I can like go into player retirement, so to speak, for a bit, and then I'll have more time, because I really have spent so much. God, GMing is such an involved thing. I hear people who like GM multiple games at once, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, legitimately, how do you GM multiple games at once? How do you focus on giving players a good experience in all of the. I have trouble getting all my assets and stories ready for one game with 3 people. How do you do these multiple games with 5+ people at the same time? There are people who run multiple World of Darkness games. Like, I could understand, weirdly enough, running multiple D&D games. I could understand running multiple D&D games because D&D has a lot of modules, and if you're really crunched on time, right, you can use like a module for an adventure. But World of Darkness is so character focused that, oh man, I guess it is less like prep focused necessarily. Like, you do want to prep some stuff, right? But it's more about like improv to an extent, right? A lot of like GM improv, even if you are trying to plan out the overarching stories and stuff. But oh man, I just couldn't imagine it. I am bringing back the horror mode feature for this one, which I have made a lot of mistakes GMing this current session. I've made a lot of them. I have so many things I would do differently that I don't feel like I can change that much because it's gone on so long. First up, I would just ban artifacts. If I could go back, I would ban artifacts that utilized abilities of a certain degree. I would also ban homebrewing foci. That was a mistake. I would have made sure horror mode was used from the very beginning. So that, oh my god, why am I moving like at a slow pace? What's going on? Why am I stuck in walk mode? Oh What the hell was going on with that? I was like stuck in walk mode and I couldn't get out. That sucked.
Return to the tower. Your amulet must stay with you.
I would be able to, depending on the schedule strict participation. Yeah, but could you also do it while, you know, going to work and also running a channel, streaming twice a week, and also having other commitments? Oh, and I go to Magic sometimes if I have time to. I have so much shit. And it's part of the problem, right? I have so many things I do. And I do genuinely feel as I've gotten even a little bit of other things I have to do outside of my main hobbies, it's been like, okay, I need to like slow down just a little bit. Because I've been partially burning myself out a little bit, and partially I've just been like too distracted by all the different things I don't have time to really commit to one, or for enough time to like zone in. Where I hop in, I get in the zone, and I just like wreck it, right? But yeah, so I'm hoping that once the campaign moves on to another game, that's also not the Magnus Archives, I can kind of just be like tech support for the Foundry system because I'm running Foundry VTT for my friends, and I've been getting some stuff that's gonna make it easy to create easy buttons and do journal stuff and easily pull up. I found out how to make a landing page. I actually finally did that. I'm trying to use this final session as also partially like a good test bag for easy to set up stuff so that people can very easily, so the next few people who are going to be using it, right, can very easily use it with the new systems we're going to be playing. Try and maintain freshness. Yeah. And again, I'm the benefit of having enough time to work on these things, even if I have been distracted as of late. And I have been making progress. Like I've made some new 3D model hats, right? I've had time to do that. And I have time to spend like 2 hours twice a week to stream. I have time to spend like my entire Saturday prepping. I have time during the week to work on different drawings, artwork, story ideas. I've had enough time to do some writing. My main bugbear at the moment is that like I used to have more time where I had a computer available that could run my editing software at specific times that are no longer available. And the times where I was doing editing recently, like a few months back, are now times where I'm prepping other stuff or working on other things or just kind of exhausted. And combined with like a lot of disruptions that happened midway through the year where things just like, I got off my rhythm. life just kind of fell apart. My ADHD brain went loop. And I need to get back on a more regular schedule. Because for me, being on a schedule is something I both love and hate at the same time. Because on one hand, I do love the spontaneity that comes with chaos. On the other hand, I need the order of a regular schedule in order to properly, you know, get shit done. And balancing those is a whole headache and a half. Yay, 3 streams weekly was a treat. Yeah, 3 streams weekly was a treat. Wait, when did I do 3 streams? Oh, man. I did 2. I didn't do 3, I don't think. Unless... Oh, was that the Halloween one? Yeah, that was that Halloween one. I think I did do Halloween one.
Use your amulet on the console at the base of the tower.
Yeah. 3 is a treat. 3 is a treat. I did do a Halloween one year, in addition to 2 others. So yeah, that was definitely a treat. Oh man, oh man.
Stay near the tower to maintain the overload.
But yeah, it's just like I have a little bit too much on right now, so I need to finish this last thing. You know, finish this last session. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be a quick thing. It's not gonna be quick. This is probably gonna be at least another month. And I'm gonna have to work on the video while it's going on. I thought back in Black Myth there was something like that. I might have misremembered. Maybe, I feel like I probably did have like a day where I streamed 3 times probably. There probably was a stream where I did thrice, right? It might have been during a New Year's, right? I think I was doing Black Myth last year. Not this past New Year, the year before last. So that could have been it? Oh, man. Wow, man, these guys do look like Doom monsters. Crab people, crab people. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Let's go, magic! Yes! Haha! And I kill you all. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, we need to also find the hut where we'll get that upgrade thing for the shrine, right? So we can start searching dragons. Speaking of Doom, what's with Dark Ages Revelations? Dark Ages Revelation. Oh god, they released another trailer? I didn't catch the trailer for anything. Are they releasing another Doom game? I mean, that makes sense, right? Doom was pretty fucking good, and the other 2 have both been pretty good as well. I still say 2016 is probably the best one. Although, oh god, Doom the Dark Ages. It might not be my favorite Doom game, but man. This is upcoming DLC mission. Oh, well, I'm not really sure. I do hope we get revenge for our dragon, though. He didn't deserve that.
Use your amulet on the console at the base of the tower.
Such a good Durg. He was such a good Durg. Alright, what do we got? We still have no wood. Alright, where do we get wood from? That is my question. I feel like we haven't, like, picked up much wood. How will we get more wood? Okay, let's try this. Let's try this dungeon. There's some in here. Oh, fun. These guys again. Hello, New Order Dragon Riders. You are traitors! Traitorous scum serving a dark goddess, and I must kill you all now. Ha ha ha! Got him! Yes! This Durg was lame, to be honest. But I'll give him that. It was probably a step in the right direction after Eternal being so whimsical. It was a cool cyborg dragon! Are you really gonna turn down cool cyborg dragon? he helped Doom Guy kill demons. How can you be angry about cool cyber dragon with blade saw wings? Like, dude. Come on. That was so cool. I'll be honest, that was like my favorite part of that game. Like, don't be wrong, a lot of the weapons were really cool. I loved like the crossbow and everything. I loved a lot of the animations. Loved the ultra violence, but damn, was that dragon cool. Cause I was like, cause I like when Revenge was all about Dazi. Oh, you mean the rabbit? Back when it was all about Doom Guy's pet rabbit. I mean, it could still be about Doom Guy's pet rabbit. There is still no wood. Alright, which one of these freaking little ancient corridors will have my wood with me? Give me the wood. I need resources, damn it. We need timber. We need timber for that. I'm hearing the ghost of Warcraft 3 echoing in my brain. Okay. And still only some stone. Where do we go to get a hold of wood then? I'm really confused about that. No garrison, there's no fall damage. Hub is a sandbox. Doesn't say anything about where to get resources, which is really frustrating. Maybe if we kill animals, maybe? Oof. So I know how cool something was. No matter how cool some... Oh. No matter how cool something is, if it introduces fatigue... and I think Doom was adding shits upon shits and sometimes conflicting with general Doom vibes. So I like Doom 4 was epic. Doom 4 was good, I think, because it knew what it wanted to be. It was Doom 4 was not good just because it like didn't have a bunch of frills and whistles. Doom 2016 was partially good because it was not only a very focused game with very tight mechanics, all played into each other very well, whereas the other games are trying to build upon something like that's inherently harder. In a lot of ways, especially with the way they're trying to do it. But it also, on top of all of that, was following up Doom 3. Don't get me wrong, Doom 2016 is definitely the best game mechanically. And the cleanest of them all. Yeah. It was Doom distilled for the modern era. This is just a general thing, though, I find with sequels, right? Like, sequels in general suffer from these issues. Not just build, but overwhelm even. I can see that. Yeah, but to a certain extent they kind of have to, because when you have a game that's that solid, right, that kind of like core foundationally solid, it's hard to just do another one. Like, it really is. People just say like, go just do another one. It's like, yeah, but like you gotta have new stuff in the levels, and we kind of already out-leveled everything. Honestly, Eternal might be, if I'm looking at these like completely removed right from the dragon, because obviously dragon is like a cheat code for me. Obviously, in a game with a dragon, it just gets extra bonus points for me. But if I'm not including the dragon, I think Eternal is probably my second favorite. I think that really, truly. And the reason is weird. The reason I like Eternal is I liked the Slayer Hunter. I liked the elite demon you had to do the parry on. And this is coming from a guy who got the secret where you had to kill them in like a few seconds, right? You had to kill like 3 of them in like a few seconds at a time. Like very, very quickly, back to back, despite the fact that he's usually a drawn out fight. I suffered that, and I still think it's good. Timber! Where is my freaking timber? To be honest, it's not even Doom, it's just the re-flavor of Quake. Being Quake 2 works in the case of Doom 4, but not Truth. Fatigue never makes things better. You say this. God, what was the, I know I'm thinking of something right now. I'm trying to remember the name. So when it comes to games, I do agree that pumping out sequels for the point of pumping out sequels can be detrimental, right? That's obviously true. But I also think that games that take their time to slowly develop sequels can release some absolutely fantastic games. I am glad that Portal 2 exists. Portal 2 is often seen as the lesser game to Portal. Oh, they just threw more stuff at it. I like Portal 2 a lot. It builds on the character of GLaDOS. It had some cool puzzles using the goo. I like most of the game. In fact, I would even say I really enjoy it. Is it a bit less tight than Portal 1? Yeah, absolutely. Portal 1 is this very tight, short, contained, solid adventure where basically nothing is bad. Portal 2 has some rough areas, but it's still one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. And I think that is like a good example of how even games that literally just add more can be done well as long as they are a very quality product. And say what you want about id Software, but they do release some pretty damn good games. And I genuinely believe that Doom Eternal and Doom the Dark Ages are extremely good games. Are they as good as the first one? Probably not. Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 are not as good as the first one. I still like that they exist. Well, I like that Dark Souls 2 exists. Dark Souls 3, I have my days. I have days with Dark Souls. Dark Souls 3 is a whole different beast. My point is, right? And there are a lot of people who do really like Dark Souls 3. So there are a lot of people who think it's better than 2. I think those people are wrong, but I also, you know, I see their point. I like Bloodborne. I like Elden Ring, right? I think they have iterated into a lot of ways, though. That's my point I'm trying to make is I feel like they have, right? I feel like the Doom Slayer the Slayer Hunter, right, was a good example of this. They gave us like a solid boss enemy that seems to like follow us around for the whole game, right? Where we have these elite groups of like hunter enemies that are injected into fights to give us like a big, almost like Doom Guy level threat to have to deal with. Not quite Doom Guy. Well, a Doom Guy, not a Doom Slayer. Those are two different things. One is like an eternally immortal, all-powerful avatar of rage and vengeance against hell. Where are you, you little... Where did you go? Also, Doom 4 is sequel to Doom 2016, 64, not 3. I thought all the Doom games were technically canon in that. Or am I mistaken? I don't know the Doom canon super well, to be fair. I do not know the Doom canon well at all. Honestly, why am I even saying well? I don't really know the Doom canon now. Even like Doom 2016 canon, I mostly just know the main story. I didn't like dive deep into the lore. Then again, I feel like most people didn't dive deep into the lore of Doom 2016. I know there were some people, but like, damn, even Doom Guy was like, shut up, I have mission. I have demon to kill. Shut up while I go kill demons. I'm gonna smash the monitor now. Technically they are, but Twitch 4 is last on the timeline unless Paradox has been made and Doom 3 timeline got created. Okay, okay. Oh, man. You know, I did enjoy watching the death battle, even if they did kill Tahu. Not sure I agreed with their scaling, but I have plenty of things death battle has done that I disagree with when it comes to like how they match up some characters. Sometimes they get pretty decent, but other times I'm like, yeah, that's not entirely there. Then again, I know a lot of fandoms, and they go pretty. They did go pretty deep. I will say they did show respect for the deep lore that is Bionicle, which I was impressed by. Oh wow, it's like an entire underground werewolf city, or warg city, whatever these things are analogous for. They're scared. They're scared. They're werewolves in armor. Or wards. I don't know if that's like the UV term technically. I don't see. Anyhow. Here we go, here we go. And boom, 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 boom. Go, go, go. Hello, Skeletron. Oh, you guys are just keep spawning, aren't ya? Doom 3 is simply unclear. How much do you know about Ninjago to compare? Actually, I know a decent amount about Ninjago. Okay, so I actually watched the Ninjago series for a while. I think I got all the way through, like, I got to the green ninja with Lloyd. I think I got past, like, the evil snake god, and I forget what was the next one. I think I watched a bit of the next one, and then I was like, I'm done there. So I've watched a decent chunk of Ninjago, not a lot of the newer stuff, right? I watched a lot of the older stuff from, like, the first few series, which is fair. It's just the feat that they had him compared to. I disagree with it partially because of the feat they compare him to. Basically, there's this feat where the golden weapons unleash like a massive blast and they like explode like a firework and create a star. And Death Battle used that as a justification for Kai having like comparable star creation power. And I'm like, that feels a little iffy, like just a little. But it's also like hard for me to judge on that one. I also feel like they might have overestimated Tahu a little bit in a few categories, and they treated the Mask of Time as something to actually be used, which was weird, because the Mask of Time is like not a, it's a fucking, oh god, I don't want to get into a, do I really want to get into a rant about the Mask of Time, and how it's basically the most dangerous thing that's ever been made, possibly even more dangerous than the Mask of Life, and that thing drove a basically pseudo-god insane. Mentioned souls, and see, this is a good example of iterating on a series. Doom is not like that at all. Never mind gameplay, everything around it. I mean, fair, but even Assassin's Creed had like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, right? Which was essentially just an iteration of Assassin's Creed. Then again, we only like all of time it's not being we like Black Flag when it's not being Assassin's Creed, so I'm not sure that one counts. We mostly like Black... See, I want to bring up a Black Flag as like how a series can like revitalize throughout it, but I don't think Black Flag is a fair example of that because, again, we like Black Flag because it's mostly not Assassin's Creed, it's pirate fun time. But no, I did see like the whole snake god thing where the snake was able to devour the world or whatever. I am a little surprised that they did Tahu as their... I guess Tahu was like the figurehead for Bionicle, right? I would have been way more interested in like a Takanuva matchup. Honestly. Takanuva, I would love to see how they match up like Makuta, Pterodax, and Sauron. Or Takanuva in some other like, you know, Green Ranger, like, you know, 7th member of the crew kind of thing. Honestly though, Makuta, Pterodax versus Sauron. And it's like an out-scheme. Who can out-scheme the other? Oh. Man. I'm gonna say this. I forget what his name is. The guy who did Makuta's voice, though, in Bionicle. Oh, God, this still gives me chills. The man put in so much effort into that voice performance. It was sweet. Just had, like, the best possible voice for that. It's like they embraced some of the corniness of Doom and run with it, but corniness was never there. Maybe there's all, dude, the Doom story, the original Doom game is literally about how the revenge was all because they killed all for his pet rabbit or whatever. Like, the corniness has always been in Doom. Come on. It was never like front and center, but it was always there. Oh, hello, Skell Grunt. Alright, we need to figure out like where this, how this cavern ends. Y'all, stabby. I still cannot figure out where to get some wood. Or some lumber. Come on. hoping I can find some. I don't even know where I got the stone from, to be honest. It's like they embrace some of the corniness. They're doing well with it. All the corners was there. It was never... There was some. I can consider that as whimsy, not corniness. Now I feel like you're splitting hairs. Get it? Hairs. Yeah, I'm not good at jokes. Plus, you know, Doom Guy would probably murder me for that joke, considering his bunny got split. Probably shouldn't make that joke even as a joke. Probably shouldn't make that, just in case he's not fictional. Don't want him, like, jumping back in time to punch me through a screen. Doom Guy will do it, too. I will say, I have, corniness may have been lost in translation. He's behind you. You can't trick me. Okay, fine, you tricked me. Whatever. I feel like if Doom Guy were behind me, there's not much turning around would do other than expedite my demise. Let's be real. Like, honestly, if somebody said it was behind you, like, really, would turning behind you with Doom Guy really actually save you? I feel like you just die. You just turn around, look at him, and he kills you. Like, misunderstanding a source. I don't know. I don't feel like it's like that much of a misunderstanding necessarily. Good God, where's the exit in this place? And of course, there's no map. Of course. I will say these caverns do look remarkably samey. Just like insanely samey. I don't know. Ugh. I remember there being a show with some dark humor that the Japanese thought was much more serious than it intended to be because they played the dark humor straight. Yeah, when you're playing stuff like that straight, it can be hard unless you like have the cultural context to know, right? Oh man, let's see. Let's see. God, I hate having to like manage inventory in a extraction game. Oh wow, it's like a main mechanic. Bone slicer. No, I don't think that's gonna be a mage weapon. Let's see. Corruption core, fireblade core. Sure, I'll keep these, I guess. Yeah, I really need to find that merchant who lets you sell stuff. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Alright, so now I need to figure out where to go from here. Let's see. No, the show was using English dark humor. The Japanese were just taking it at face value. Oh, okay. Was it like... Okay, so like, what kind of dark humor are we talking about? Can you give me like an example? Like of like the kind of humor they were taking at face value. Because I'm still a little confused. I know things can be lost in translation, right? Oh my God! I finally got some metal. Holy shit! That's only like the second or third resource pack after like all the dungeons. Dear God, the drop is horrible. I mean, I know I haven't gone to like a lot of major dungeons, right? I mean, we need to go into more of these major dungeons. Okay, you're trying to remember. Yeah, I would like to know, actually. I would kind of be interested to see. It'd also be interesting to know if, like, the translation affected, or if, like, it was just, like the translation or the subtitles affected it at all. Doom 4 works well because it's balls to the wall, and then went full Doom Guy wearing wolfskin armor and looking like a cheek action figure in Eternals. I mean, Doom Guy looks like he's an action figure in Doom 4. Let's be real. Come on. Let's be honest. He does. Like, the Pop Funko thing didn't start in Eternal. They had the Doom Guy figurines in literally Doom 2016. They were collectible. I'm nearly positive they were collectibles in 2016 originally. But appearance is not sold on attentions. I don't buy the action figure thing. I remember the Doom Guy being... Okay, but in Doom 4, he looks like a cool action figure. He looks like Actually, no, he looks like Master Chief's too. Yeah, I was about to
Use your
say.
amulet on the console at the
They
base
are
of the
literally,
tower.
they were literally going for Halo look. Like, I don't even know. He looks fairly similar between them. His armor just gets more messed up, or he's going like, I mean, even in like Eternal, he's like just wearing his beat up armor after like a few, you know, after his siege on Mars and slowly going back. Man, I'm just getting terrible drops when it comes to getting some timber. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong areas. I also need to find that hut so I can get the other upgrade material. And find the merchant. Oh boy, this is gonna be a hell of a run. Really are just putting off the main objective continuously. Alright, let's go find the merchant real quick. I think Gallows' humor of D&D being interpreted as political comedy. But think Gallows' humor of D&D being interpreted as political comedy. Oh, yeah, that would be weird. That would be weird. Like OSR, like Dark Dungeons misrepresenting kobolds. Ah, okay. I can kind of see what you mean. A little bit, maybe? I don't know. It's still a little weird for me. Alright. Transfer all that. Commentary, not comedy. Okay. I understand. It's commentary. Yeah. So, like, taking it seriously, right? Like, actually using it as, like, a political allegory for something in, like, modern day. And do not forget, no matter how whimsical Doom got, the gory demonic presence was always there, but that blends of crafty and whatever D&D campaign has came up with. Besides, it would work. I'm sorry. Demon stuff not... What are you talking about demon shit not being there? It's not even Lovecraftian. Doom isn't really Lovecraftian. It's just demon worship. Like, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Like, there's a bit of stuff with the Makers and Argent Nerve, but that's more like you're adding angels to the demon flavor, right? That's you're just saying, oh, angels are here too. I don't really think that's Lovecraftian. I think that was just biblical inspired stuff. That is what makes it corny. The Dark Ages, there's literally fight with Cthulhu. Okay, yeah, I guess there was literally. Okay, fine. I forgot about that. Sorry, I was thinking Eternal. Dark Ages, yes. Dark Ages leaned into full Lovecraftian horror. I thought you were talking about Eternal for a bit, and I'm like, I don't think Eternal went Lovecraftian. I think Eternal was more into, like, the Makers of Argent Nerve and all that stuff, like, setting up a heaven versus hell dichotomy. To be fair, that's the same rabbit hole Supernatural went down, and we all saw how that ended up. Oh no. Damn, that show. Honestly, I have Supernatural on my Plex server, but I do not have all the seasons. I have, like, up to the Leviathan arc, because it was one of the really good seasons, because they cut out... they basically, like, nerfed their angelic and demonic help by unleashing the Leviathans, and they had other issues, and it was mostly Sam and Dean having to deal with the Leviathans on their own without Kaz to bail them out. It was great. Maybe schlocky is a better adjective for the series. Schlocky, yeah, I could see schlocky. I think Doom fits the schlocky moniker pretty well, right? Over the top, gory kills, the full 9 yards. The full 9 yards. Honestly, for me, one of the fun bits in, like, modern Doom is that everyone looks at, like, Doom Guy, right? Like, he's this mythical religious figure, and he could not give two flying shits about what they think. Like, I still remember when he was like, you cannot blow a hole in Mars, and Doom Guy just shuts him up and does it anyway. God, that was great. Doom Guy does not care. He needs to go kill demons. That is his primary objective, is to go and kill demons. Boy does not give two shits about this plot. Oh, I personally just, it's one of my favorite bits of the entire game. It also shows excellent usage of silent protagonist. Because Doomguy doesn't really talk. Like, at all. Right? For sure. Doom was never the deepest thing in the world. Particularly dictated by hardware. Partially dictated by hardware. Yeah. Honestly, whenever people say, because I've heard so many times that you can't have because I'm one of those people that's like, why do we need like a human in a dragon movie? Can't we just have a movie about a dragon? For as much as I love How to Train Your Dragon, right? There are sometimes where I just wish we could just have dragon protagonists. And you can have that in kid shows, but for some reason not in adult shows. They're like, yeah, but we need a protagonist you can talk to and relate to. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. People love Doomguy, and he's like essentially nothing but testosterone and rage with no voice. Shut the fuck up. Oh, there are so many other good examples though of silent protagonists, right? That can make my point for me. Oh man. Also, oh god, what's another example of like games that like do really well with like progressing down via sequels? What's a game I think has a better sequel than it does an original? That's a question I'm thinking of right now, because I know I have movies, right, that I like the sequel more than the original. There are several I can think of. Spider-Man 2, I like more than the original. I like, oh God, what was that one? I like John Wick 2. I think John Wick is technically the better movie, but I like John Wick 2 more as like a fun action movie, and I enjoy that. It scratches a completely different itch for me, and I think I like it more as like an enjoyable thing. That's like, also I'm like evaluating its artistic merit. So I'm like, yes, the John Wick one is like this serious kind of drama, over the top action thing, which is really cool, and you know, it takes all of it to. John Wick 2 just goes off the rails and becomes a full video game, and I love it for it. You know, I hadn't watched it until I was in like high school or college. No, college at least. Was it after college even? It was. I hadn't watched it for a while, and when I eventually did, I was like, "Holy shit! What was I missing out on?" Thor Ragnarok, the series, back when Thor Ragnarok was a comedic novelty of MCU. What are you talking about comedic novelty? I mean, don't get me wrong. Thor Ragnarok is an amazing movie. Thor Ragnarok. That's a good one. That's actually a great one. Superhero movie stuff that's really bad. Thor Ragnarok is the best Thor movie. Hands down, by like a country mile. It's not even funny. It's just kind of sad. Like the original Thor movie is not terrible, despite what some people want to say. It's not awful. It's just I don't know, man. Like yeah, you want to do space opera, sure, but you don't have to charge for space opera. I'm sorry, Thor. You just don't. You don't. You're a goofball. At least now you are. Taika Waititi did some amazing work on. Oh man. I don't really think Doom Eternal is like that, honestly. I feel like it had the same thing going where the other characters were taking the plot very seriously, and Doom Guy's like, I'm going to murder you all. Like, it had plot going on in the background, but just like in the Mars base, right? Doom Guy could not give any shit. Was a novelty for how much it doubles down. Oh yeah, I know it was a bit of a novelty. I don't think it was for how much it doubled down on comedic aspects. I think you're incorrect at the why it was a novelty. Not that it was a novelty. You have to remember, all the MCU movies have always had that like kind of common, that kind of like constant subtle comedic undertone to them. Not even necessarily comedy, but like a subtle comedic undertone. You had the Guardians movie before you had Thor Ragnarok. That was hilarious. That was actually pretty good. I like. Oh god, all the Guardians movies are amazing. All the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are amazing. Every single one of them. That's probably, I think, honestly, if you're looking at like a solid trilogy in Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, 100%. You do have to watch Endgame to know what the hell is going on, but damn, are those movies really good. And they're funny as shit. Alright. Send these through. Okay, send those to the other side. Let's see. Can we get another staff? We can upgrade to the Necro staff if we sell our current Witch staff. I think I will indeed upgrade. Okay, now we can buy a Necro staff. Sweet. We have a staff upgrade. It has a skull in it. A cage. Wasn't just for comedy, it was also being called Pointed Out. Even called full superhero comedy. It was way more comedic than the average Marvel. I will give you credit for that. It was. Guardians is the only other series that really went that far into comedy. At least back then, right? Now all of them have to try to be funny, like Thor Ragnarok. But like, you know, Tony's movie, like Iron Man movies were like a bit more serious, even if they had comedic bits in them, right? They were a bit more serious, right? You had fucking War Prisoner. Captain America had like the classic war movie angle going on, the spy thriller thing. I think the MCU is like really solid up to Infinity War. I think they still have some really good stuff in them. Thunderbolts is amazing. The Fantastic Four First Steps is really good, although it isn't really connected to the rest of the MCU, so I'm not really sure. I know they're eventually going to fold them in, but like it doesn't really feel like an MCU movie. It feels like a solid Fantastic Four movie. Like, you could watch the Fantastic Four First Steps without having seen any other Marvel movie and it'd be fine, right? You don't even need to see other Marvel stuff. You can just watch it on its own. I don't really count it as a Marvel movie, personally. More MCU movie. I count it as a Marvel movie, obviously, because it is Marvel. But I don't really count it as like a MCU movie right now, because it's completely disconnected from everything. Like, on a universal level, right? Completely different timeline, completely different location. It's like saying that like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are technically MCU movies now, because I mean they got folded into the MCU. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't really make those movies MCU movies. And again, Guardians are a bit different flavor of comedy, one that fits Marvel versus Capcom seamlessly. I wasn't really going for Marvel versus Capcom, but I can see that. I can see that. Oh god. You know what the funny thing is too? There was this reversal I remember happening in my childhood when it comes to superhero stuff. Because like I don't really read a lot of superhero comics, right? I've read a few, right? I've read the Sandman comics. I've read a bit of Absolute comics. I've read some Ultimate Marvel stuff. I've read, and when I say a bit, I mean I don't even think I finished any of the Ultimate Marvel series. I don't think I finished the Ultimate Fantastic Four one because I got bored with it. I've read a few one-offs or spin-offs or short runs, but I haven't really read ongoing series that much. I don't really like to keep up with the ongoing comic series. Just a lot. But I did experience a lot of DC and Marvel. Mostly in my childhood, it was DC though. I had, you know, the DC animated universe, their, you know, Superman, Batman, Justice League, Static Shock, just like all of that, right? And then there was the CW Flash show, which was amazing. But it was like before that, like, right? I remember like not as the Marvel movies came out, like right before they came out, I think, is when Earth's Mightiest Heroes released. I think it was pre or just around the same time as Iron Man was when Earth's Mightiest Heroes came out. That show was great. If you've never seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I cannot recommend it enough. It is a different take on the Avengers. It's like the last time Tony Stark was not just like Robert Downey Jr. parody. They were very much doing a slightly different take on Tony Stark. I think he was influenced by the Robert Downey Jr. depiction, right? But it was very much like a unique take on the character, as opposed to like nowadays he's just Robert Downey Jr. I know literally Rocket appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and then MCU version appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, having one hell of a grin as once Dante lives in Ebony and Ivory. Oh, 100% I can see that. Rocket loves his guns. But Earth's Mightiest Heroes is really cool. It had Wasp on the team. I'll be honest, when I know for a fact the show came out before the Avengers movie came out, because I remember watching Avengers and wondering when Wasp was going to show up. I'm nearly positive on that. Maybe I knew Wasp from something else, but let me. God, now I've got to look it up. Real quick. Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. One second. I'm looking it up. Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It was a Disney show, right? It was Disney XD for me. So it came out in September 2010. I think Avengers might have come out before. Maybe I saw Avengers afterwards. I could have sworn I saw Avengers in theaters, though. No. So Avengers was 2012. Okay, so Avengers was 2012. So this show was out. So Tony Stark. So Iron Man had been out. So Iron Man had been out for a bit. I still see the character as like not entirely Robert Downey Jr. I still see him as a pretty distinct version of Tony Stark. He's similar, but like, you know, it's a different version. And we were waiting on the Avengers movie, right? And then we get Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It has the team, and it's like Hawkeye, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, the Wasp, Ant-Man until he has his whole breakdown arc with Ultron, which was handled so much better in that show. I had way too high unrealistic expectations for Ultron after that show. Oh man, I meant Capcom versus 3, not 4. Okay. God damn though. Oh man, boss room. Boss room with no boss? Or did I do like a little summoning ritual or something? Okay. Guess the boss is gone. Not sure why he was dead, but okay. Let's see here. I don't need any swords. That's what's gonna happen in Doom as soon as the Eternal. We got Marvel Eyes, but even more Blockbuster. See, I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. I don't know. I just don't feel it. Just don't feel it. Like, don't get me wrong. Eternal definitely changed things up, but it didn't really change the tone for me that much. Like, I feel like Eternal was kind of like a dark, you can say Dark Ages changed stuff up. Dark Ages definitely did. It gave Doom Guy, like, we're fleshing out his backstory, we're doing more character-focused stuff on the side. It definitely changed things up. I don't really feel like Eternal changed that much. I feel like it just, like, expanded the mythos to include pseudo-angels that Doom Guy also needs to go punch, because they turn out to be jackasses. Right? Because you're a way more forgiving. I am, to be fair, I am more forgiving about a lot of stuff like that. It's also not a franchise I'm super attached to, right? So like, I haven't played all the old Doom games, so maybe I am completely off basis. And don't get me wrong, I can be a nitpicky little bitch when I want to be. Oh, believe me, I most certainly can. I try not to be in my reviews. I feel like it's, there's a lot of negativity already, and if I'm going to review something, I'm going to talk about things that are positive. There's plenty of negativity. I have plenty of problems. You'd like to bitch about Dark Souls 3, I can do that.
Return to the tower. Your amulet must stay within
God, I
range
fucking
to
hate Dark
sustain the
Souls 3
overload.
so much. It's so... God, no. I am brutal when I need to be. Dark Souls 3 for me is a fucking unforgivable nightmare of a game. I hate it. I like a lot of the bosses too, and I think it's really cool. A lot of the setting stuff is really nice. I hate the gameplay. I think Dark Souls 3 has the worst gameplay in the entire game. The straight swords are so much better than everything involved. Magic damage falls off a fucking cliff later on. And even though there's dark magic, if you invest all the points, you don't even get good damage out of it. You might as well just go full sorcery. If you invest both your points, dear God. Okay, so Dark Souls 3 has a problem with, like, balance. Just flat out. The weapon balance is terrible. And the entire game has, like, a lot more, like, spongy enemies, in my opinion, compared to the previous series. They nerfed a lot of damage for magical attacks and magical stuff for just, like, seemingly no reason. Like, if you go through all the benefits of making a Dark Hex build, the damage is just, like, comparable to a sorcery build. You have to put in, like, twice as many points and you get, like, comparable damage on an element type that most things are, like, super resistant to. So you don't even get the benefit of, like, the damage being good on, like, other stuff. Unless it's weak to dark, you're not going to see good damage out of it. And I think that's just terrible. Like, if people put a lot of stat points into something, it should scale for the amount of stat points you have to put into it. I think that a lot of the weapons are kind of just meh. A lot of the weapon skills are pretty basic. I find that the weapons that are fun are so late into the game. And I'm just like, come on. And the straight sword. Just like, I hate that the best weapon in the game is the starting goddamn longsword. I'm not joking. It is like objectively, unless you count like the twin swords, the best weapon. That irks me on a deep level. I hate. Look, if you're gonna make your game about going around killing bosses, uncovering new equipment and shit, making the long swords, the basic starting longsword, so good, just like ruins a lot of build variety. I don't know. Dark Souls 3 has like a lot of potential for cool builds, but every time I've tried to do one, it either doesn't kind of work the way I want it to, whereas I feel like in Dark Souls 3, 1 and 2 it did, or it would like not do good damage. Like you either have fun or you have good damage, and I feel like you had both in other games. Like you could play around with Dragon Slayer Ornstein's Spear, and it would also do good damage and have nice utility on the side. Also, that's how I'm getting to the PvP. PvP was god-awful. It was just, like, stun-lock people with straight swords. Because, of course, it's more straight swords. The most boring weapon in the game is not only the best for PvP, it's also the best for PvP, too. And you could do things like the Dark Sword, but, like, it just feels bad. And, like, I used to think Dark Souls 2 was bad. I came around on that one, actually. And I thought that maybe I was just too harsh on Dark Souls 3. Right? I thought, because I came around Dark Souls 2. I originally didn't like Dark Souls 2, and I still think it has there are some legitimate grievances people have with it. Like, the adaptability stat is still kind of stupid, but it's not that bad, and we just kind of raised, like, the standard level cap for PvP, so it's mostly fine. I went back and tried to play Dark Souls 3 on multiple occasions. Like, gods, I must have tried to replay that game, like, 9 separate times. At least. I can think of 9 separate times off the top of my head, at least. Maybe. Oh yeah, because I tried to do it a lot, like, earlier this year I tried to play through it when the internet was out for, like, several days. And because I had it on disc. And I couldn't. Meanwhile, I have replayed Demon Souls like 5 times. I've replayed Dark Souls too many times to count. I've replayed DS2 all the way through on at least four or 5 times. I think 4 times, and I got like I currently have a playthrough, a save I got part of the way through because I stopped playing Dark Souls 3 when the internet was out and started playing Dark Souls 2 a bit more. I played Bloodborne like 20 times all the way through, at least. Like, I've had a lot of playthroughs of Bloodborne, but it's also a shorter game. It's a short game, so that's why no, it's also my favorite. But dear gods, I have not gotten all the way through a second playthrough of Dark Souls 2. I've done New Game Plus in my first playthrough to get all the weapons for the achievement, but I have never finished a new character again. Every time I get a certain amount of way into the game, and I'm just like, I'm not having fun. Why am I not having fun in a Souls game made by From Software? It is the worst Souls game, in my opinion, that From Software made. Hands down. There is no contest. And people will defend it. I've heard from some people that Dark Souls 3 is like their second favorite game in the series. And I see what they're saying. I remember fighting the Nameless King and it being fun. I remember the Ring City being cool. But dear gods, when I have the other games in front of me, when I have Elden Ring in front of me, when I have Demon Souls in front of me, when I have Bloodborne in front of me, I just don't see a reason to play it. And I think that's the most damning thing I can say about it, right? Is that I clearly replay Souls games. I do it quite often. And for some reason, Dark Souls 3 is the one I cannot bring myself to replay, at least not completely. And that's about as damning of a statement as I think I can make about any game that's a Souls-like. Well, a From Software Soulsborne game, right? If I don't want to replay it, it's pretty fucking bad. Now granted, I'm being a little overdramatic. Dark Souls 3 is still a perfectly playable game, but I think the balance on it is just off. I don't know how much to explain it other than that. Nothing feels quite right. Even between the fact that games have different... even between the thing where games have different, like, finicky movement. Like, Dark Souls 3, 2 and 1 feel a bit different, right, to play, to roll. When you're dodge rolling and shit, it feels different. Even with that. Even with all that. I think Dark Souls 3 is just the worst one. Maybe there's intention to be decoded behind it. Maybe. And, like, there's a lot of other things, too. There's a lot of other things that irk me. I remember, like, the Way of White Corona being, like, a shit enchantment. Shit miracle. And actually, a lot of the miracles are shit. And as a guy who likes magic, right, I like when there's a bit of variety in my magic system. Dark Souls 3 has variety. It's just, it has variety, it's just a lot of the variety is bad. Like, sorcery, if you're going pure sorcerer playthrough, it's fine. Go Moonlight, go spam your soul arrow, do everything you do. Miracles are just, like, very weak. I actually heard a theory a while ago, like a long time ago. And it was about... Oh shit, this place is about to explode. Oh shit. Oh no! Sometimes when you try and figure things, just click. Yeah. But no, I heard a theory actually about that, because it's not even a contention. This is not my opinion. People agree that the miracles, with the exception of like 1 or 2, are just bad in DS3. It's actually a fairly known thing in the community. Particularly the Way of White Corona, which is used by like the final boss of the final DLC, is just like terrible. And people are like, "Why is this so bad?" And we were also surprised when the Nicholas Ring or whatever was good in Elden Ring, because it was like the same miracle, but like actually good. Oh man, no, I can be very harsh on some games if I want to be. It's just that doesn't interest me to talk about in videos. I talk about the Dark Souls 3 one, mostly because I find that it's an opinion that a lot of people... Oh my god, my dragon face got stuck. Come on, catch my face again. There we go. I'm willing to talk about the Dark Souls 3 one, because I feel like a lot of people like Dark Souls 3, and thus my opinion is not just restating a bunch of stuff. It's also why I didn't, I didn't really go into the details on the miracles. There are people who will tell you about it, if you really want. Yeah, and again, I feel like in comparison, right, to the other Souls games, it's just the weakest one. And a lot of people say Dark Souls 2 is weaker, and I say bias. I say no. Dark Souls 2 is actually really good. Actually, it's fucking amazing. Which is an opinion I've reevaluated. Like, I was not originally a Dark Souls 2 fanboy. I guarantee you, Fred at least probably remembers shortly after he might at least remember me saying that I thought it was bad, right? Like maybe a little bit. I know one of my other friends, Caleb, definitely probably remembers me ranting about Dark Souls 2 a little bit, how bad I originally thought it was. I thought it sucked. But having played it fully several times, like I can't really say that anymore. I think I do genuinely enjoy it. Very much so. God, what was one of the other things? What's like another game I'm like really harsh on that I really just fucking hate? Oh, there's that one. There's that one. We could always talk about that game. So, I don't usually make negative videos. And it's not that I haven't tried in the past. There has been one game that I got... Yeah, Dark Souls 2 felt very unique and different from the others. Initially, myself, I did not like the movement as much. Yeah, but you get used to it, right? You get used to it. However, I will say this. Special loot required, Anchor Stone. We got the Anchor Stone. So I was originally going to do a video about how much I thought a game sucked. And it was Fallout 4. And it was so bad, I couldn't bring myself to finish playing it to get the footage. And I'm like, I think it's one of the reasons I don't talk about shitty games, because that would require me to get footage of said shitty game, and talk about that shitty game. And I tried doing that with Fallout 4, and I just was like, why am I playing this thing? Ugh. I'm with you, Fallout 4 sucks. People like talk to me about that. I've had people argue, oh, but it has the best shooting mechanics and the cool power armor mechanic. And I'm like, yeah, the gameplay may on a fundamental level be decent, but the core of the game, the exploration and the, I don't know, story in this narratively focused RPG are terrible. Why would I say it's a good game? It's clearly not. I hate Fallout 4 with a passion. I played through it. I barely finished it, and then I never wanted to finish it again. And unlike Dark Souls 3, I didn't keep playing the DLC, right? I didn't keep going with the DLC and playing the DLC. I actively did not do any of the DLC because I finished the main story and I was like, I'm tired. And this was back in like high school and college when I had all the time in the world. I did not have as many games and it did not take that much to get me to keep playing something. And I just stopped. Those are my two big negatives. Dark Souls 3 and Fallout 4. Fallout 4 because it just sucks. And Dark Souls 3 because I have a very negative opinion on where other people see it as one of the better Souls games. Good shooting, huh? Well, see you on the live stream chat. XT. Nope. Fallout 4? Fallout 4 has good shooting. Fallout 4, let me phrase that. Fallout 4 has the best shooting of the Fallout games, which include like Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I like New Vegas way more, by the way. I like its variety of weapons way more. I like the stat system way more. I like all the RPG mechanics way more. But if you're just looking for how well the shooting works with the gun, of the Fallout games, it is the best. That is the only area in which it is the best. And all other areas, it is an inferior knockoff that wishes it was half as good as other games. But it is something I will give Fallout 4. I will give it fucking nothing else. Anyway, I think this is probably a good stopping point. We haven't quite gotten enough resources, but we're getting closer. I did, but I know what they're talking about. New Vegas had good shooting, but Fallout 4 was like a polished New Vegas. It took all the stuff New Vegas does. It had the good scopes, it had weapon mods, and it polished it up. Wait, the fuck? They can attack me in my home base? Huh. I kinda like that. Are we gonna get like seizures in our home? Oh my god, they're attacking my shrine. I need to go kill them. Destroy the evil crab, people. Crab people. Fallout New Vegas is pretty good, but it can be a bit rough and glitchy, which is like, that's New Vegas, right? Like glitchy, New Vegas being glitchy. Oh my god, what a sterling discovery you have made. How could you possibly have come to such an amazing conclusion? He said with deep sarcasm. Some of the bullets had no effect in older Fallout games. Exactly. There was a lot more visual feedback in Fallout 4. Like when you shot a Deathclaw in the opening scene, which I will give Fallout 4 credit. The opening scene with the rusted power armor and the minigun was good. I don't think it should have been the first few minutes of the game. It kind of rushed straight to its dessert. But I will say it was a pretty cool sequence. And you could definitely tell the difference between that game and earlier Fallouts from the way that the Deathclaw reacted and like responded to being shot, right? It like staggered and fell back. It was definitely a much more tactile game in a lot of ways. So I will say that. Fallout 4 is very good at the fundamentals of walking around and shooting things. The problem is it had nothing else to give. Like, the game had it set up so you just go raid bandits over and over. Every building is just this like very samey location. You go there for a retrieval mission for whatever randomly procedurally generated fetch quest it is. Oh, go fetch me this. Oh, go fetch me this. Oh, go fetch me this. Oh, it's more bandits. Oh, it's more raiders. Oh, it's more raiders. Oh, it's more raiders. Fallout New Vegas had a sense of place. The earlier Fallouts had too, but I'm gonna use New Vegas as an example here. You go to like Novak, right? And you're like, oh, Fallout shooting was cool in Fallout 4. I'll hand them that. Like you said, it's a downgrade in all the places. Exactly. Like if you go to like a main quest thing, or even like a side quest off the main quest, right? It's like, go get this chip for me, so I can do this thing. And it's like, okay, it's just this random group of raiders in this boring building. Maybe they have a bit of theming for like a Robco building, sure, whatever. Then you have things like Novak in Fallout New Vegas, where you go to ask for like these guys. You're chasing down the guys, the cons, right? And you go by Novak, and it's like, oh, I might be able to help you out if you can go deal with those ghouls. They're kind of we just want them to go away. And you find like a fucking space cult led by a glowing ghoul, and they're also working with a human who thinks he's there's so many locations like that where you're told to go do a fetch quest and you run into this like wacky cast of cool characters or weird scenarios. Fallout 4 just sends you to go kill a bunch of raiders. Fallout New Vegas gives the raiders a personality, or has the vault that you're going to go rob be like this overgrown wilderness place with weird plant people, and now you have to make a moral decision about whether you want to unleash this technology on the world. There's like, it ties into like 30 other quests because it's such a cool location. Fallout 4 sends you to kill random people. Fallout New Vegas sends you into random scenarios that have moral or character-focused decisions and storylines that make you feel engaged in the plot. Whereas I felt like I was falling asleep playing Fallout 4, even though the gunplay was better, right? Even though I didn't have to reload the game because it crashed. Even though I didn't have to like pull back a quick save because I got like yeeted into the atmosphere by a weird physics glitch. I still was more engaged with New Vegas than I was before. And that really is what it comes down to. You can have all the shiny graphics and polished gameplay in the world. We need to find some escorts to get closer with a faction. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the factions in New Vegas, like, right? They all have these different personalities. And also, they feel like they matter. They all have their own separate things going on. Like, yes, the two main factions are fighting over the Hoover Dam, and there's also the third player, Mr. House. But all the other factions just want their slice of the pie. They want their piece of whatever they're doing. You can have the Brotherhood, who just wants to wait everyone out. You have the Boomers, who just want people to leave them the fuck alone and blow up anyone who comes near them. Gain the power to blow up anyone that comes near them. And yes, you haven't gotten the Boomer reference. It's a bunch of people who idolize pre-war America and want to blow everyone up so you don't have to deal with all those other people. Yes, they did that. Or the Lodge of Nightkin Recovering Stealth Boy Edition. Yeah, the Lodge of Nightkin, the Ghoul Cultists. You had, that was another cool one. No, the Elvis guys. I love the Cult of Elvis. That's such a cool thing. I loved that. You have the Gun Runners, who are just like being their old mercenary selves, but they'll hire you for some jobs. Cool, we got some stuff going on. We got things to do. You have people who are working with the NCR who aren't even a part of it, like the farmers. There's that whole moral dilemma over like the people like working with the NCR, and there's like this big murder conspiracy. New Vegas is great. Yeah, New Vegas is... Honestly, I would love to stream New Vegas again because I'm sure I can find new stuff to do in it. Unfortunately, I'd probably end up being a stealth sniper again. Not a stealth archer, but a stealth sniper. Because being a sniper is just so fun. I love the anti-material rifle so much. But yeah, I think this is about where we're going to cut off for today. I love that we ended up on a high note, talking about a game that I actually really enjoyed. That's what I love to do. I love to talk about things that make me happy. This is why I don't like doing negative videos, because, oh god, there's so much good shit in the world we could be talking about instead. But yeah, if anyone who's watching this after the fact, go play New Vegas. New Vegas is an amazing game. You should go play it. And I say this as someone who's on Linux and who finds it an absolute pain in the ass to play. But yes, just go survival melee for a change of pace. Honestly, that would be a really good survival change of pace. You're right. I guess I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.